Hey everyone, Theo here. Today I'm reviewing another Apple Pencil alternative from Benks. First of all, a disclaimer, this is a review sample provided by the company. This alternative is US $49 and this is compatible with all iPad models that support Apple Pencil 2. In other words, this alternative can work with all iPad models that have the flat side for attaching the Apple Pencil 2. This pen supports tilt, palm rejection, and wireless charging, so that's the new feature compared to the previous model that I reviewed from them. However, when you attach to the side of the iPad Pro magnetically for charging, there is no pop-up battery charging alert. So that's the difference between this versus the original Apple Pencil 2. The main downside of this Apple Pencil alternative is there is no pressure sensitivity. So if you require pressure for drawing, the lack of that feature is obviously the deal breaker. But if you're just looking for a more affordable pen for writing purposes, this one is a good one to consider because the performance is almost similar to the original Apple Pencil 2, except there is no pressure. The alternative looks and feels like the original Apple Pencil 2. They have the same matte textured surface, the weight is about the same. The Apple Pencil tips are interchangeable. That's to say that you can use the original Apple Pencil tips with this pen, and 2 extra ones are provided with the purchase. On the other end is where you can see the difference. So one has the Apple Pencil logo and one does not. And on the back of the alternative, there is this blue light which is always on when the pen is on, and this is actually a shortcut button. With the original Apple Pencil 2, you can tap once or twice by the side here with your finger for some shortcuts which are somewhat customizable depending on the apps you use. With this alternative, you can press once to go to the home screen and press 2 times to look at all the active apps. And it works really well. It is not necessary to pair this with your iPad in order to use it. However, if you want to use the shortcut button, you will have to pair the pen with Bluetooth to your iPad. To pair the pen with Bluetooth, you have to use the settings. This pen will not pair when you attach it to the side of the iPad magnetically, like this. The magnets are quite strong. It is not possible to pair 2 pens with one iPad. So if you pair the original Apple Pencil 2, that is the battery charging pop-up alert that will not appear when you attach the alternative. So when you pair the original Apple Pencil 2, the alternative will not work. I've just unpaired Apple Pencil 2 and now this works. That's the battery life indicator. I have no idea how long the battery life for this pen is. Battery life is not something I would worry about because this pen is always attached by the side for charging, so there will always be battery life. One downside to this pen is, unlike the Apple Pencil 2, this is not always on. So to power this on, you have to press and hold this button for 3 seconds until the blue light comes on. Let's look at the pen performance now, starting by looking at the lack of pressure sensitivity. So currently I'm using a brush that can work with pressure. So as you can see, pressure sensitivity doesn't work. The latency performance of this pen is similar to the original Apple Pencil 2. Palm rejection works really well, so if I try to draw or write with my finger, you can see it actually just moves the canvas. So for apps where you can set the app to take only pen input, you will get perfect palm rejection. So if I place my palm on the display and I draw or write, I will not be able to introduce any straight strokes. Let's look at tilt sensitivity. So this is the soft pencil brush from the app Concepts. If I tilt the pen slightly, I can get slightly broader strokes. If I tilt it more or tilt it much lower, I can get much broader strokes. So the angle of the tilt can be detected by this pen. Writing performance is very good. The pen and tablet is able to capture my handwriting really accurately. There is no problem writing small as well. This pen can be used for drawing. It's just that there is no pressure sensitivity. The pen is quite accurate. There is minimal to almost no noticeable diagonal line wobble when drawing diagonal lines slowly. For the type of art that I create, I don't always need pressure sensitivity. Oh, this by the way was drawn by my daughter. Let me show you a sketch or illustration that I have drawn. Not with this pen, but with the original Apple Pencil. I just want to show you the line art. So this was drawn with a brush that does not require pressure, and I'm fine with drawing with brushes that don't use pressure. However, for the strokes that you see here, these were drawn with a brush that requires pressure. If I choose a brush that can vary the thickness of the line just by varying my speed for drawing, let me show you what's going to happen. There are some issues with this pen, with the Benks pen. You can see the lines are not that smooth for some reason. Yeah, you can see the jitter or the variation of the thickness. This is very unsightly, so I'm not sure why this happens. But if I choose the normal brush that does not vary with pressure, that does not work with pressure, you can see that this is actually pretty smooth. There's no cursor misalignment, so if you want to draw separate lines and join them together, you can always connect those lines perfectly without any gaps or without overshooting the lines. I have reviewed many Apple Pencil alternatives over the years, and there aren't many that support pressure sensitivity except for the Adornit pens, but even so, the pressure support from Adornit pens isn't that great. So is this worth the money? Most definitely yes, if you do not require pressure sensitivity. If you need pressure sensitivity, I still recommend the Apple Pencil 2. So this is US $49 versus $129.